Let's tell you what we know for so far. The United States and Israel launched waves of strikes against targets in Iran, sparking retaliation by the Islamic Republic. Earlier, US President Donald Trump said that Iran's supreme leader was dead. Iran's state media initially denied the claims, but the latest confirmed it. Now, Trump said on his Truth Social platform, Khamenei, one of the most evil people in history, is dead. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth said the campaign sent a message to those who would do harm to Americans. As he said, and I'm quoting here, "We will hunt you down and we will kill you." Reza Pahlavi, the son of Iran's late Shah, hailed the reported killing of Khamenei, saying the Islamic Republic was entering the dustbin of history. The joint US-Israeli operation began earlier on Saturday, with smoke rising over Tehran after strikes that Israel said were preemptive. Shortly after Trump announced US combat operations against Iran with the goal of eliminating imminent threats. Israel's military said it targeted senior officials. That had gathered in Tehran and launched airstrikes against Iranian missile launchers. It said 200 fighter jets had taken part in the extensive attack, hitting more than 500 targets. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the attacks killed senior Iranian officials and warned that thousands more targets would be struck in the coming days. The Iranian judiciary said 108 people died in a strike on a girls' school in Minab, citing a provincial official who blamed Israel. Now, in response, Iran's Revolutionary Guard said they targeted the US Fifth Fleet in Bahrain and other American bases in the Gulf after launching a first wave of missile and drone attacks at Israel. Israel's Megan David Adam emergency service said a woman was killed and at least 21 injured in the Tel Aviv area. The Israeli military said it deployed search and rescue teams to multiple locations across the country following reports of fallen projectiles. Explosions were heard across the Gulf region and they were reported as well. The United Arab Emirates said that 2 people were killed in Abu Dhabi, including a Pakistani civilian. The country's defense ministry said that 137 missiles and 209 drones were fired at its territory. Witnesses in Dubai said they heard an explosion and saw missiles streak across the sky. And witnesses told AFP that they heard an explosion and saw smoke rising from the man-made island, the Palm Jumeirah. 4 people were also injured there. In the Saudi capital, Riyadh, loud explosions were heard as well as in the Bahrain capital, Manama, and across Qatar's Doha. Qatar's defense ministry said it had intercepted several missile attacks targeting the Gulf state. 2 people were killed in airstrikes on an Iraqi military base housing the powerful pro-Iran group Kataib Hezbollah, which threatened the US with a response. Iran's Revolutionary Guards also moved close to the Strait of Hormuz, a vital waterway through which much of the world's oil and gas passes. But reports say that it has been closed off by Iran. Now, the United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting over the fighting with Iran's envoy, accusing the US and Israel of committing a possible war crime by attacking civilians. UN Chief Antonio Guterres said military action in the Middle East carries the risk of igniting a chain of events that no one can control. Oman's foreign minister, who has been mediating talks between Tehran and Washington, said he was dismayed by the violence. The European Union said developments in Iran were perilous. Gulf states condemned Iran's cowardly attacks in a joint statement read by Bahrain's ambassador during an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. Russia slammed the US-Israeli strikes as a dangerous adventure that could spark regional catastrophe. Another Iranian ally, Lebanon's Hezbollah militant group, called on countries and people in the region to stand against Israel and the United States. Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Syria, the UAE and Israel all closed their airspaces to civilian traffic, at least in part, and multiple airlines cancelled flights to West Asia. Russia cancelled commercial flights to both Iran and Israel until further notice. Now, this is what we know so far. And the breaking news that we just had that came in is that Reuters confirmed the deaths of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and his family, which was earlier reported. And Reuters has cited Iranian state media that reports that claims that Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead and has been killed. And earlier it was confirmed the deaths of family members of Khamenei, including his daughter, son-in-law and granddaughters. And now we are again being joined by Susan Tehrani. Susan, can you please tell us exactly what is happening?
Yeah, so a lot has happened in the past 24 hours or so, perhaps a little less. We heard from President Donald Trump confirming that Ali Khamenei has been killed in an operation by U.S. and Israeli forces, saying that he was one of the most evil people in the world and in history. He also stressed that the strikes against Iran will continue throughout the week and, quote, as long as necessary. We also heard from the Israelis, who also confirmed not only the death of Khamenei, but also saying that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying earlier that he had seen photos and proof of that death. Israel saying that it has launched its largest ever air campaign against Iran with 200 attacks and aircrafts, 500 targets so far. Of course, Iran has retaliated not only against U.S. bases in neighboring countries, but also some confirmed reports on civilian infrastructure in places like Dubai, the Kuwait International Airport and Dubai Airport, leading to one death at Dubai Airport and several casualties there. So Iran is hitting back, however, according to analysts and experts, and what we're seeing from our sources in Israel, the Iranian retaliation has been underwhelming. For example, Israel's Iron Dome has not been overwhelmed, although one missile did pass the Iron Dome, and one Israeli civilian has been reported killed, with many others injured because that missile surpassed the Iron Dome in Israel. So a lot of moving parts right now, but perhaps the most important question is what happens after the death of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, in Iran, the security apparatus over there, and the chain of command moving forward, and who will lead. Now, according to President Trump, he says that he has a good idea of who will take over after the supreme leader, and he says that he has a good feeling about it, but he's not willing to share who that person is. It's not clear if it's someone within the current regime or that the United States and Israel had plans for perhaps an alternative government should the regime fall.